Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Jobadomi, and this is Reality Check. If you don't know what Reality Check is, let me just give you an explanation. So, I had an idea to let people submit questions, then I can talk about them on the podcast. That's basically Reality Check. So, there's an anonymous link, you see it in the description, where you can send questions, or then I also drop the voice recording link where you can also record like a voice memo, and then I'll just place it in the audio of the podcast. So today, if you look at the art of the podcast, I already put the questions there. So that's how I'll be doing it. I just put like the questions that I would be talking about for the episode of the podcast, and then you see there, so it's trending per episode. So I have three questions here, and I'm just going to start with the first one. Opinions on the Nigerian educational system. I didn't want to do anything exclusive to Nigeria. I don't know why, because I feel that other people might be listening to the podcast that are not Nigerian and might also benefit from it. So I'm not going to talk about, I'm going to talk about the Nigerian educational system because that's the one I've been in. And then I'll just make some generalizations. So, first of all, the educational system normally, on a normal day, in any world, it's just in any world, in any country, is outdated. I don't know. I can't say for all countries, but I can say for most countries. Most people have already been complaining about the educational system for a while. The idea of the educational system is to bring out workers, is to breed workers. So the educational system doesn't really factor in for like free thinkers. You're not supposed to go to school and become a pioneer or something, or like an entrepreneur. You're supposed to go to school and become a worker, a somebody in the economy, like a hog in the economy. So that's literally what school does. School does breeds workers, people that will drive the economy. It doesn't bring like entrepreneurs, people that think outside the box, or like do important stuff or crazy whatever. So just to understand the idea of school, that's the basic idea of school, right? Um, the school system in Nigeria is kind of flawed. Flawed in the sense that it doesn't account for a lot of things, and I would list them later along the line as I have them here. But then the outdated curriculum is worse because I remember in my third year level they were teaching us Fortran. Like Fortran is a programming language if you don't know. Fortran was created like about, I don't want to say rubbish, but like 40 years ago or 50, 60 years ago. So Fortran is quite old. Although Fortran, I don't know how many people still use Fortran in this day and age. Fortran is a dying language, I won't lie to you. But there's money in dying languages because I see some enterprises that still use dying languages. Nevertheless, that's not an excuse to teach us a very, very old language that people probably never use in their entire life. I guess like C is okay. C is not even a dying language though, but C is old and C is still being used. Right? If you taught us C, like okay, yeah, that's fine. They still eventually taught us C. But the idea of teaching us Fortran, I do not understand why they were teaching us such a dying language. And I'm very sure that these guys that were teaching us don't even know how to write the code themselves. They were telling us to write code in paper and everything. Like writing code in paper is bleak. Like it's saddening. I don't know. Like it's saddening. Although they might bring an argument of you understanding it on paper, but it's still saddening. It's still very saddening. So the outdated curriculum is, it's not even, I think they changed the curriculum, but it wasn't even our curriculum to begin with. It was the British curriculum. But according to people, I think they've changed the curriculum now to like I just said the curriculum to Nigerian curriculum. That way the curriculum is still rubbish. You know, and then the exams that we do, we're not just doing exams because like we understand something. We're doing it because we have crammed it. Like you could. The idea of exam is to write it in the way you understand it, right? And then you can do an exam, and then most of let's say the exam is like definitions, and you explain it the way you understand them. Correct, but it's just in the way you understand them. And the lecturer probably won't give you a full mark because it's not the way you wanted it to say it. It's the way you understand it. So you now start to see that the school system or like the educational system is you're not supposed to just understand it, you're supposed to cram it. And it doesn't set you up for future endeavors. Like if I don't understand what I'm writing, or if I don't understand what I'm learning, then what am I going to do when I'm outside? Out of all the cramming I've crammed, when you cram, you literally forget. Like, I can't even remember. I did exams like how many weeks ago? Like 2 weeks ago. It's not even a week. I just finished last week. And I don't even remember half of what I did. Maybe I say I remember half. I can remember half if I look at it again. But like most of it is just fading away day by day. Like I finish an exam, it's just fading away, it's just gradually disappearing, disappearing, disappearing. Until just like when I even resumed my second semester and I couldn't remember what I wrote first semester. So that was it. Like, isn't me that now goes when I now go outside school? What do I want to remember exactly when I've forgotten everything? So that's the point. That's what I'm heading to. Like, it doesn't set you up for future endeavors. Everything they teach you in school is theoretical. Everything. Maybe like in the Nigerian education system, maybe abroad they still teach some practical stuff. But most of what they teach us here is theoretical stuff, like theory. Theory. And I can say for my own course, because I'm studying statistics, and my course does not do IT. My course does not do IT, industrial training. Why, you may ask? Like, my own opinion is that if a course does not do IT, if a course is not doing IT, then it's not practical enough. If a course is not practical enough, then you're just wasting your time. Because what do you want to do? Unless you're going back to school, unless you want to say you want to be a lecturer, you want to go back to academia, you want to get teaching secondary school students. If that's what you want to do, then that's fine, man. I hope you enjoy your life. But, how would my course not be doing IT? I don't understand. I don't know. For me, maybe there's something I don't understand. Maybe there's something I don't see. Maybe I'm not seeing the bigger picture here. But for me, if a course is not doing IT, that means it's not practical enough. And if it's not practical enough, then you're not set up for anything in life. You're just automatically leaving school. And you're going to go and face life head on. Because what do you want to do? If they ask you the job, okay, do this, do that. So I mean, it's really the formula I can write for you. You don't even know how to use you don't even know how to use a computer to do it. You just start writing formula of like starting integration by parts probability on your paper. And later to come and do it in a statistical software. You do like or do it with Python or like do it with something else. Or like you don't even know what you're doing, bro. So maybe I might be speaking based on emotions here, or maybe I'm just passionate about the idea that we're, we're being set up for failure. But I don't know. I just feel like that's it. Let me even hear your opinions if you guys have opinions on this. So now the other half of the question is what will happen to the younger generation. I don't know. We ourselves are already cooked. So the younger generation, unless something changes, or maybe they change the way they approach it, they are also cooked. I mean, more cooked than us. So, if they approach it in a different way, let me put it like that. That me before I entered school, I already started programming. So I know that if I leave school, I might still have something to do. I might still have like a career to pivot to or something. So if the younger generation were moving that way, they already picked up something before they entered school. They pick up something during school. Then after school, then they can add it to their degree. So that's my own opinion, and that's my own advice for anyone that is like, listen, you just have to pick up something because no matter how good your course is, no matter how good it is, maybe it's law, maybe it's nursing, or it's medicine or engineering, whatever, you're not still guaranteed anything when you leave school. Even in the job market, even in the I can even speak for the tech market because they're like I think we're even let me not even go and give global panic here. But people are talking about recession. People are talking about recession. So you know that we're in for hard times. But hard times create strong men. But before you get strong, you don't see and finish. So that's just my own advice, I guess. Just speak up something and just understand that school is not guaranteed a job or anything outside for you. So that's my own opinion on the educational system. My second point here is, or the second question is how to deal with relationship oppression. So that's like a very big jump. You go from educational system to relationship oppression to being real and perfect. This real and perfect question, I don't understand it to the extent I want to understand it, but we're just going to play along. So a lot of people talk about like relationship oppression, and personally for me, I see a lot of women talk about it. They're always like, these guys are oppressing me, this relationship oppressing me when I find my own man. The funny thing is that in everything I've observed, it's like 80% of people that are complaining about relationships, so like 90% are always women. Not say guys don't crave relationships or anything. Or maybe guys don't just feel like saying it. That one itself is there. But that's just my own opinion or just my own observation. Right. And my point is that physical oppression is quite different from mental oppression. So, let's say I don't want to bring any notable event or topic, but let's say somebody's bullying you. Bullying is different from mental oppression or psychological oppression in the sense of like cyberbullying. So cyberbullying is different from physical bullying. Let's just establish that fact. So now when we establish the fact that they're both quite different, you can now see that there are different ways to approach them. I mean, physical bullying is quite different from cyberbullying. I mean, cyberbullying, you can just say, turn off your phone. Literally. If anybody's bullying you online, just if someone is like attacking me on Twitter, I'll just off my data. And I'll come back in the next 5 days. The person will probably be tired. I might never come back in the next 5 days. I might just block the person. That's basically it. Physical bullying is quite different. You have to fight back, you have to fight for yourself, or maybe you have to involve third parties. That one is different. So let me just get out of the way. And relationship oppression is basically psychological bullying. But nobody's actually bullying you. You're the one that is being oppressed. So like nobody is technically oppressing you. You're feeling oppressed. So there's this idea that I have, or there's this quote. I should probably even write it down because I just remembered it, that is somebody offending you or are you feeling offended? Like that I don't know what I was thinking when I brought up that idea. It's like, are you being offended? I mean, is somebody offending you or are you feeling offended? So is somebody oppressing you with their relationship status, or are you feeling oppressed? So that's one thing to note. Let me just pause it so I can write it down because that quote is too crazy. So necessarily you might not be offended per se. I mean, you might not be oppressed. You might not be oppressed relationship wise. You might just be feeling oppressed. So some points I have here is that you need to understand the importance of relationships. There are some people that they can't live by themselves. They're always in a relationship. Like they break up with this guy, or he will break up with that girl, and then next 2 months, next 3 months, you see that guy in another relationship, That's their life. Maybe they can't. They have a hard time being alone with themselves. But you need to understand the importance of relationships. Just like even friendships. People say unconditional love. Me personally, I don't believe in unconditional love. I believe love is conditional. I believe even friendships are like conditional. I can only be your friend if you offer me something. I won't lie to you. I cannot just be your friend because you're my friend. I have to be your friend because you give me value. You make me think a specific way. Maybe you make me laugh. Maybe you're a funny guy. Um maybe you're adventurous. Maybe you're spontaneous. Maybe, and I like that about you. But I cannot just be your friend because I know your name and I just feel like being your friend. Like that one is more of like an acquaintance. You just know that guy, like a name. But like being your friend, you have to provide value for me as I am providing value for you too. So you just like relationships, like you just can't love a person. I just can't be in a relationship with a girl because she's fine. Or maybe just because I don't know everybody likes her and I should like her too. You have to be specific. What is she giving me? What am I offering her? What she's giving me back in return? Like relationship is more of like it's a two-way street. So you are both giving each other value, and that should be the point of relationship. People will say that okay, you're supposed to do something first or whatever, whatever, whatever. But you already know that if you're doing something first to someone, the reason why you're doing something first is because you know that person is capable of doing it back to you or doing something similar in return. So you might say, okay, you might do something first, like people are always saying, and then not expecting anything in return. I might do something first for this girl. I'm not expecting anything in return, but I know that this girl is capable of doing something not might not be the same, but equally similar to me that she might not expect in return too. So like she has the power, but she's not using it yet, and that's fine. So you get what I mean? Just like you have two credit cards. You have two credit cards. I think you're always using one to pay. You always want to pay because the second one, you know this, you can use the second one. The second one is there. There's money in the second one. The second one can also provide you value, but you're not just using it. But you know you can use it, but you're not just using it. I don't know. It's a very weird analogy that I use there, but I hope you get the idea of what I'm trying to say. So, important relationships is more of like you have to benefit from the person benefiting from you. Like you have to get value from that person one way or another. So that's like for me, that's like the importance of relationships, of being in a relationship with someone, friendship, courtship, marriage ship, and what did I just say? But I hope you get the idea of where I'm coming from. Maybe my opinion is quite different. Maybe you can always share your opinion, honestly. Maybe I'm taking it from the wrong approach, right? So as I said, you're not just entering a relationship for just being in a relationship, you're entering for the benefits. So if a relationship does not benefit you, then you don't need it. You don't need to be there. If you like this girl, but this girl is stressing your soul, bro, you need to let her go. You need to leave, man. You need to get yourself in order. So it's just same thing with a guy too. If you like this guy, but this guy is not giving you attention, it's just not that guy. It's just not there mentally. It's not in the headspace. You need to let him go. So like you don't just need to be in a relationship because oh my god, I have a boyfriend, I have a girlfriend. Like you have to at least they have to be at least making your life better in some way. And if they are not, then she has to go, man. She has to go. And that's just my own opinion, though. And if you want to build that kind of mindset, you have to be comfortable with being alone. Like now, I'm very comfortable with being alone. I don't have a problem with nobody if I don't talk to anybody for a week. I'm like good. As long as I'm doing my own shit. As long as I have work to do, I have like something to focus on. If I don't have work to do, I might just be watching films, whatever. Which is very, very unlikely because I always have work to do. But then I'm very comfortable being alone. I don't have a problem not talking with anybody for like a week. A month is a stretch, honestly, but like a week, I think a week is fine. Like a week or 2 weeks. Even a friend, if I don't have a problem talking with, I don't even have a problem opening my mouth for a week. I don't just be in my mind, my headspace, and just be thinking and like doing stuff that are important. Some people might have a hard time doing that, and that's fine. I mean, we're all different. Me, I don't say much normally, so that's my own strength. But you need to be comfortable with being alone to a certain degree, right? As a adult, as a full blown human being, or as an adult, you need to be independent in your own way. Man or woman, you just need to be independent. You need to be comfortable being alone. You need to be able to do some certain things alone by yourself. And that's why I keep saying something. I keep saying that the journey is a lonely road. It doesn't necessarily have to be one. Like Yolanda messaged me some days ago. Abby. She messaged me yesterday and she was like, it doesn't have to be a lonely road. It doesn't have to be a lonely road, yes, but it's still a lonely road either way, right? So that's just my own that's just my own take on it. So life is give and take. Life is transactional. Relationships are transactional. Like life is give and take. If you want to come and argue with me on this, people die and people are born. Simple. So you know that life is give and take. Life is transactional. So to that analogy is weird. I don't know, but that's just how I see it. Like it's transactional. Things need to balance up. And personally for me, if I want to be in a relationship, she has to be giving me a certain type of value. She has to give me something that I cannot get myself. Like just like saying, I'm in a relationship with a girl and she ties my shoes, but I can tie my shoes myself. So I don't see the benefits in it. I don't see the fact that okay, maybe I was just setting time off. Maybe I'm having like few seconds more to do important stuff. You can see that as a benefit. But except from that, that's a very weird analogy. It's a very messy analogy. But I think you get my point. Like you have to provide value for her and she has to provide value for you too. If you guys are not providing value for each other, then you should not be in a relationship. And if you cannot see anyone that can provide the value that you require. Although you need to have reasonable standards, very reasonable standards. I'm standing on that. You need to have reasonable standards, and you need to understand that you will not meet people as you want them, as you want to meet them. You might be looking for this girl that does this, that does this, that does that. Maybe she does 3 out of 5. You have to be reasonable. Like Those other two, are they negotiable? Are they this? Are they that? I mean, it depends on you though. But me, I'm reasonable enough that okay, well, she doesn't fit the whole criteria, but she's worth it. And for that, I can manage. For that, I can see how it goes. I can see how it nurtures. And if it's something that I can live without, then I'm fine with it, But that's just me though. You, I don't know if you're looking for this 6'5" guy or like he has a lot of money, this and that. Or maybe guys that are looking for a guy for a female with this and with that, and that's your own thing. But me personally, I'm just saying my own opinion on it. So I have some few points here, just 2 points actually. That the first breakup is essential for development, but after that, you must be comfortable alone. So as a guy, I don't know about women. As a guy, the first breakup is essential. It is paramount for character development. That should be one of the first things that should be on your list if you're trying to improve yourself. You need to have that first detrimental breakup. And I feel the first one is always detrimental. The first one that you're present in it detrimental. I'm not talking about like secondary school, online, WhatsApp relationship. I'm talking about like real physical relationship. The first one is always detrimental, and the first one is always important. You need to have your heart destroyed. It might seem like for people that have not experienced it, or like for the females or whatever, it might seem like I'm just saying like what's this guy saying? But the guys that have experienced it understand how important it is. I've experienced it, and I understand how important it is for every guy to get that first heartbreak and let it destroy you completely. It is from that destruction that you see the beauty of things. It's from that loss that you gain something. So if you're a guy, you just need to get a heartbreak. You need it. You need it. I can't explain it until you experience it. And the guys that have experienced it understand what I mean. So it might take a long time, but when you become comfortable alone, relationships don't eat you anymore. Like like the memes that feel around that was it Billie Eilish that she was like, for the first time in my life, I don't feel the need to be with anyone. I don't feel the need to be. And personally, I feel that way too, actually, and a lot of people feel that way too. So maybe it's the times we're in. Maybe it's just a specific stage in life. I don't know honestly, but when you get comfortable with just being alone and just doing your own things, and then next time you enter a relationship, it's just for the right reason and then another stuff or whatever. So that's just my second answer to the second question. So at this point, I'm using average of 10 minutes per answer. So last answer, choosing between real and perfect. Or last question, choosing between real and perfect. I don't understand this question completely, but I'm just going to say it in the context I understand it. So would you rather pick an experience that is real, or would you rather pick an experience that is perfect? Personally, for me, I'm a real guy. I prefer it real. Bring it with all the flaws, bring it with all the drama, as long as it's real. Perfection is will I say perfection is unattainable? Like it's hard for you to get perfection. It's hard for you to get perfection. And why are you looking for perfection? That's one of the questions to ask yourself. I mean, being real is like that this is real. This is as it comes. This is as I'm going to get it. This is as far as I'm going to get it. And you just be comfortable in that realism. But perfection could come at a cost. Perfection could come at not being real enough. So now I'm trying to be perfect for this girl, but I'm hiding some parts of myself from her just to make sure that and perfection is let's say perfection in some context is subjective. Like you're looking for the perfect guy, right? With these qualities. And maybe I don't have these qualities, but I'm trying to be perfect for you. So I now I make myself look like I have those qualities. So I'm not being real, I'm trying to be perfect for you. So I mean that's the only analogy I had out of this, honestly. Um that's my basic opinion on it. My basic opinion on being real and perfect. I'm personally a realistic guy. So I'm not even a perfectionist per se. Sometimes I'm like, I look at someone, I'm like, come on, releasing like that. That's some podcast episodes or like some videos I release. I'm like, this error, this issue. She's like, you know what, bro, everything will be fine. So that's basically it on the reality check episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and feel free to submit your questions. You can always DM me, email me, whatever. Use anonymous link. You can also send a voice message to me, and I will actually drop it on the podcast for everyone to hear it, and I'll put my own opinion on it. And then, should I say we can answer questions? I'm not sure how that will go, but you could shoot at it. Anything you want to say to the world, you could also just shoot at it, as long as it's constructive. I don't want you to be shouting or whatever. I just want no curse words, no curse words. So yeah, thank you for listening, and I will catch you in another one. Peace.